Serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 182 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of January the 11th through the 17th, 2021. My name's Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And we are, when I pull the thing up right, opening the recipe box. And it sounds like this again. Let's try again. There we go. I had it set.
It's a huge lid.
It is. Throw it back. We will have, I'm sorry. We are recording this episode of The Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studio South, aka my house. We are practicing social distancing and using Zoom, sponsored by Bull's Tavern. We will have two guests on the podcast today, Chef Andre from Clementine's Gourmet Toast and Juice Bar and Chef Kevin Woods from the Roar concept that we talked about last week, so stay tuned. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast, we'd appreciate a like, a rating, and or a review, whichever the platform allows. That keeps us in people's minds, lets us know what listeners are enjoying, and it just helps us out. Mozzarella Fellas closed yesterday, Ray.
I saw that. That broke my heart.
Well,
and yet,
it's coming this week in the old Spruce Street Garden location, as I believe we talked about a few weeks ago. Will be a new vegan restaurant called Dom's. Brian Ricciardi is opening the new restaurant after struggling with trying to get Mozzarella Fellas out of Summit Square Shopping Center. He's been wanting to move downtown, and he's been wanting to officially change it to an all-vegan concept since the beginning of this year. Thursday, the 14th, will be Dom's first day open. The name Dom comes from his grandmother's nickname for him his entire life. His great-grandfather was Dominic, and his grandmother called him Dominic. He said that he made his first menu at 9 years old and called it Dominic's. It was also a vegetarian menu. But not only is he opening Dom's, he's opening a place in Greensboro that will be called Radici, which is Italian for roots. It too will be vegan and hopefully be open around March or so. Dom's will be takeout only at the beginning. I have talked to Brian, and after expressing how hurt I was that he hadn't told me and I had to find it elsewhere, we agreed that we'd have to have him on the podcast in the next few weeks.
It'd be great. We'd love to talk to him again.
Yeah. So he had struggled, and people were giving him a hard time about Mozzarella Fellas, and as much as he didn't want to get rid of the MF logo, I believe cutting that tie completely and starting over was the only way he was going to get away with doing this without repercussions, because people are stupid and can't handle.
Like we said, Mozzarella Fellas is not a good name for a vegan restaurant, because mozzarella is not vegan.
Right. Well, the people are complaining that their favorite restaurant has basically, they killed it because he took all the meat away, which, we've had that discussion, he and I, and on this podcast. But I think he'll do well. People have been clamoring. I say clamoring. People have been complaining there's not a vegan restaurant around. Now, they complain that a lot of things are not around, and then they don't last because no one goes there. So, hopefully, this one will stick, and people will go after complaining, bitching, and moaning that they don't have it. So, you have it. Now go.
Patronize it.
Right. Yeah. Quit talking and put food in your pie hole.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's, forget the opinion, just eat it.
That's right. That's right.
I'm excited for him. I mean, I understand why people were passionate in their response to the change to Mozzarella Fellas to become a vegan restaurant, because it was so good before.
Yeah.
His pizza, his sandwiches, his food was some of the best in town. And being out on the north side of town, he just wasn't getting the traffic that he needed.
Yeah.
We've talked for years that if he could just get downtown, that it would make a huge difference for the restaurant. So I'm excited for Brian. I've known him for years. He's always been an upstanding guy. And to see him living into his dream, that like, go back to he's 9 years old. He's naming a restaurant. He's created a vegan place at 9. He's lived his dream. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to go support him.
Jim Noble and Derman Hospitality Group are teaming to open.
You're going to go there.
Teaming to open Bossy Beulah's Chicken Shack at 1500 West 1st Street at the intersection of 1st and Hawthorne. This is the former 1st Street Draft House building. This is the second Bossy Beulah's, as Noble owns one in Charlotte, along with a couple of other restaurants. He owns Roosters and Noble's Grill here in Winston-Salem. So a few issues here. One, parking always has and always will suck here. There's very little space and nowhere for them to expand that parking lot. There is a lot across the ravine and you can walk there, but it's not well lit. It's a bit scary, and I believe it's reserved for the hospital. I'm not sure about that.
You're right.
Yeah. Another thing, and this is a personal thing for me, I don't like hateful food. And what do I mean by that? Jim Noble himself is known for being anti-LGBTQ. He has publicly stated that he is against it and has opposed measures to ensure equality throughout the community and throughout the state, basically. He spoke out in 2016 when Charlotte was trying to expand the anti-discrimination ordinance that later led to HB2, or the bathroom bill. He pulled the whole, quote, I oppose the ordinance because it granted transgender people the right to use bathrooms matching their gender identity, claiming to do so could put children at risk line. That line of argument is popular among anti-LGBT groups such as NC Values Coalition. He also had a sign hanging in his restaurants that read, in all caps, wanted for the kingdom of God. And the following list: drug addicts, alcoholics, prostitutes, pimps, all sick people, gangbangers, gamblers, strippers, AIDS victims, homosexuals, blind, confused, shoplifters, depressed, suicidal people, demon-possessed, and those who are unsaved and cursed by witchcraft. He later updated the sign to just read sinners instead. And he still considers LGBTQ people to be among that lot. Now, I want to make something clear. I am not calling for a boycott. I'm not calling for a public lynching. I'm not calling for harassment or anything like that. I do not like, do not subscribe to, evoke, or condone cancel culture. I have not set out to damage this restaurant before it even gets open. I am not in the business of telling people how they should feel or how they should think on a subject. Jim's free to think what he thinks. That's what makes this country so great. But I'm also allowed to think what I think. And I think that stance is antiquated and it sucks. One of us, Leah, is part of the LGBTQ community. All three of us support most LGBTQ issues. I myself serve on the board of Pride Winston-Salem. I just think people should be aware of the stances that businesses take. I feel that even if you feel a certain way, maybe you shouldn't be so vocal about it. Run your business, shut your mouth. I reiterate that I am not calling for boycotts and do not support the cancel culture. However, like Jim Noble, I am free to exercise my right to expression by not spending my money there. I hope he does well, but it won't be because of my money. Some may say, well, aren't you doing the same thing? Again, I'm not quelling his ability to say his piece. But this is food news and views, and I am exercising my view. I encourage everyone to make up their own minds about this. Support it, don't support it, whatever. If you do when it opens, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the food, because on this podcast, that's what we try to focus on. I apologize that I got a little in-depth on that. I will say the chicken sandwiches on the one in Charlotte look really good. But just like I think the chicken sandwiches at Chick-fil-A look good, I will not give them my money either. For one, that's, high sodium crap that I can't put in my body anyway. Not that I don't eat high sodium stuff, but that is known to be one of the worst. But yeah, Stephanie and I ate at Noble's a couple months back, and I wasn't aware that this was the case. And once I found out, I felt really bad that we had gone there. I will say the food was delicious, but knowing what I know about the owner after that, no matter how delicious the food was, it left a bad taste in my mouth. Pun intended. So I will not be spending money there again. I'm not telling people not to. Go enjoy it. Patronize the hell out of it. Seriously. I'm just stating, because this is my podcast and I can do so, I will not be spending my money there.
Yeah. I mean, I understand how he gets to that perspective. It is an old perspective.
Yep.
I don't believe an in-depth study of where his belief comes from would lead to the same conclusion.
Right.
Most of the places where we see the term homosexuality in Scripture is actually referring to child molesters. The concept of a homosexual, as we understand it in 2021, did not exist in first century Jerusalem. So there's a lot of passion around this issue. Personally, as I shared with you earlier, as a pastor, and he is a pastor, let's point out, he is a pastor, so I understand why he speaks out. I believe that a better definition of sin is not who you love, but failing to act out of love. And I believe that central thought is supported by Scripture. And it's not my place to go around and pointing out everybody else's sin. Jesus said, hey, take the log out of your own eye before you start trying to get the speck out of mine. So it's incumbent on us as Christians to address our own life. How are we failing to act out of love? Deal with that. Everything else will fall into place. Then you begin to recognize that other people are at a different place in their own journey. And so you just love on them and accept them for who they are. And if it's the kind of person that you just can't be around without getting too passionate, then maybe the most loving choice is just not to be around them.
Yep. You say more with what you don't say than with what you do.
Yeah.
And it's not just the Christians, the people like me. I mean, the thing about Christianity and most religions in general is they are guidelines to a proper way of life, to live your life. A lot of people hear the word atheist or agnostic and they think that we're just complete infidels and whatever. No, we still have morals. We still have, being a good person is still the highest, for me, is the highest achievement. I want to be a good person above all.
All of the world religions, most of the world's major religions have figured that out.
Yeah.
That when we are operating out of love, we are operating from the highest good for all concerned.
Yep.
Philosophers have reached that same conclusion. Humanists have reached this same conclusion. All right, so we've got common ground. I mean, that's why the atheist and the pastor could sit here and do this thing week after week after week and still love each other.
Yeah.
I respect your beliefs, but I also respect who you are and the way you treat other people. To me, that's at the heart. Jesus was asked, what's the most important commandment? Love God first with everything that you've got, and then love the people around you with everything that you've got. It's pretty simple. There you go.
Yeah. And you could put into some degrees of thought that, in terms of like Wiccans and things like that God is what you make it. all of us. Because the things that you picture, or I don't know how you picture them, but that you think of about God may not be much different the way I think about some things.
Yeah.
I think it's a construct, and I don't mean that in any derogatory or passing off kind of way. I mean, it's a construct in our own head of what we follow to make us point in the right direction. And as I always say, the Bill and Ted's philosophy, be excellent to each other. So,
I believe that if we go seeking God, we find God. And that the way some people picture and interact with God is different than the way that I do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that their relationship with God is no less valid than my own.
Right.
There's a point in Scripture where the disciples come back to Jesus and they go, hey, this guy over here, he's not with us, but man, he's healing people. And Jesus said, hey, if he's not against us, he's for us.
Right.
He's doing good work. So go support what he's doing.
Right.
Don't call him out and say, well, you got to do it this way. It's like, no, recognize the value of what the actions were. They're doing good work. Support that. So that's why, I'm willing to do this with you because you're doing good work. And I'd love to be supportive of that.
And we're friends, and we can be friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we don't agree on every single thing.
No.
But that doesn't make us enemies. That just means we have some differences. And isn't that part of the beauty of life, is the diversity?
Absolutely. And we can have discussions on religion, or my lack thereof. And
right.
And it's respectful. It's
and
not. It's
been.
Yeah. It always has been, and it's just that's why I don't mind talking religion with you. Yeah. I can't talk religion with some people because it's their way or no way, and I'm willing to listen.
Yeah.
And just so far, I'm not about you, but anybody, I'm willing to listen to all of it to a certain point, as long as I'm not. I don't want to be preached to. I would like to have a conversation about it. And so far, nothing's changed my mind. So I still have my same belief, but it's at the same time, I find religion very fascinating.
Yeah.
I love the concepts, not just of Christianity, but all of them. And why do people think that?
Why are we here? I mean, fundamentally, I think that's what the religion is trying to answer, is why we're here. Yeah. What's the point?
42.
We exist, but where did we come from? What's the point? The answer is 42. You're right.
Yes, 42.
I learned that years ago.
So now that
all that to say, hey, we've got a new restaurant coming.
yeah. Hey, chicken's on its way. But
can I just say, there were some of the comments on Facebook that also made me say, name? Given everything else that's going on, couldn't you find something a little less racially charged?
Bossy Beulah's?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's named after his someone in his family,
aunt?
His aunt. Yeah. So I don't think it for this. I don't think it's meant racially. I mean, people will hear what they're going to hear, but yeah,
that's just it. I'm with you on that. People are going to hear whatever it is they're going to hear. It's his aunt. It's kind of like Brian saying, I'm going to call it Doms, because that's not some part of the sexual subculture. That's, my Grammy used to call me Dom, so I'm going to call my restaurant Dom. Oh, okay. But what are the optics? The optics of the name that he's choosing, yes, it's the same one he has in Charlotte. It's 2021, and given all of the stuff that we've had in the news over the last year, man, can you find a better name than Bossy Beulah's?
I don't have any problem with the name on my end. I actually think it's kind of funny, but I don't know. The whole thing is just unfortunate, I think. I mean, because I think it could be a great concept. I think it could be a good chicken sandwich. I just think that he needs to pull his beliefs out of that and just let people be. And, you know, my money is the same color as Christian money.
Mm-hmm.
And what does
Sure
it
is.
what does it matter about all this stuff? Now, granted, he's not like saying he's not serving any gay people or anything like that. That's never been the thing. It's just he has strong anti LGBTQ beliefs, and he supports actions that have been proven to be anti-LGBTQ. And as you said in a message we were talking about a night or two ago, you know, it's not good for our brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
So
I have way too many friends. I have a daughter who identifies as lesbian and a stepson who identifies as gay. Come on, folks. This is in my own family.
yeah.
So, yeah, I want to be protective of them. And fortunately, the religious right are neither. And it's not about a religion, it's about a relationship. And that relationship says, hey, man, just love me and love the people around you, and it'll all work out.
Yeah. All right, we've given him way too much time on that. Talk a little bit about some sponsors, but not in a commercial form. This is actually news. So Carrabba's is starting a new DoorDash only concept called Tender Shack. It's chicken tenders, chicken tender sandwiches, fries, things like that, but you can only get it through DoorDash. But it's coming from Carrabba's. They will be using.
It's not like you're just going to Food Lion and picking up some chicken tenders. This is Carrabba's chicken tenders.
Yeah. And they're doing using Frank's hot sauce in the recipes. So,
Cool.
Daniel said it won't start until the 19th, which is next Tuesday, but it sounds to me delicious. He says he's going to get me some to try, but Carrabba's is still a hip and happening place. You should still go there, even though you can get DoorDash and other takeout options. Daniel and his crew are ready to give you the great food and exceptional service. Find out more on their social media and at Carrabba's.com. So he's going to come look at my table. It's kind of separating, so he's got to have to come look at that Wednesday. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
I think it's a humidity or lack thereof problem in the building that I'm in. It's either too much or not enough. I think it's an atmospheric thing. I don't think it's his workmanship at all. I think it's just the atmosphere in the building, and we'll figure out how to fix that. Diamondback Grill has new themed specials. Tuesdays are Plantastic. Wednesdays are seafood night. Thursdays are Mediterranean night. Fridays are prime rib night. Saturdays are burger night. Man. And it's half-price bottles of wine with 2 entrees, both dine-in and take-out. They offer the regular but updated menu as well through all this, so it's not just these are the new menus. Diamondback Grill is all homemade, and they support local farmers. They try the roasted Brussels sprouts with cumin roasted pumpkin seeds and bourbon mustard sauce. Find out more about those on social media at diamondbackgrill.com. Now, Kimberly did send me an updated menu. So, hold on. Or not updated menu. Well, she just set the menu too, but here are examples of these specials. Like Diamondback Grill's Plantastic Tuesday. And again, these are examples, previous examples. There's Grandma's vegetable soup, a vegetarian chili, roasted tomato basil soup, roasted Brussels, like that is on the regular menu, vegetable quesadilla, stuffed portobello mushroom with roasted vegetables and cashew cheese, quinoa stuffed red peppers, pesto primavera with cashew cream, fried buffalo or barbecue cauliflower, veggie burgers, zucchini wedges, tomato pie trio. I don't know what the trio is, but Asian noodle bowl, cauliflower rice burrito bowl, and so on. Again, these are just examples. It could be up to other things. So these are just examples. Wednesday, seafood night. It could be seafood chowder, calamari, crab cakes, seafood lasagna, Carolina seafood platter, peel and eat Old Bay shrimp, fried shrimp, buffalo or barbecue shrimp, right? Coconut shrimp. I know everything there is to know about shrimp business. Bacon wrapped shrimp, seared scallops, scallop nachos, shrimp burger, grilled salmon, mahi, oyster nachos, crab legs, oysters. Those are just some of the examples.
Like a box of chocolate.
That way we don't have to sleep with our heads in the mud.
Bargain.
Mediterranean night on Thursday, so Italian wedding soup, pasta fagioli, Greek black-eyed pea stew, pasta specials, Greek salad, chickpea, cilantro salad, Mediterranean quinoa bowl, roasted tomato and thyme chicken, citrus avocado dip, Italian roasted vegetables, chef's lasagna. So it'll be some of this every night. Prime rib night, always a hit. We'll also have other steak specials, steak and potatoes, ribeye, filet, surf and turf, steak and pepper quesadilla, steak and egg grip bowl, and more creative ideas come on that. And Saturday night is burger night, all hand-patted burgers, half-pound grass-fed ground beef, and bun and choice aside, but there's a Carolina burger with chili, slaw, and onions, Texas burger with southwestern barbecue sauce, chipotle bacon, cheddar jack cheese, onion rings, classic burger, of course, Deacon burger, blackened ground beef, blue cheese crumbles, bacon, caramelized onions, the Grubs burger bowl, cheeseburger with fried eggs, fries, and mayonnaise, Spring Garden burger, Hillary's vegetable burger, lettuce, tomato, avocado, and the Beyond Green burger with Beyond pesto, lettuce, avocado, house-made pickles, and more. So, I know I went through those kind of fast, but those are just the burgers. I think all those will be available, but the things on Tuesdays, it's just an example of what could be out there, and it's a chef special every night. So there you go. And they haven't.
Sounds like we should be there like every night of the week.
Yeah, it does.
Some good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's yum. Yeah. Bootleg Ramen had to move from their Boonville location. You know, they finally got started.
Oh.
And they said on their Facebook page, like the mighty but humble hermit crab, we've had to move to a slightly bigger shell. Luckily, Nikki's Pickles, the crew let them crash their pad. And you can bet your sweet biscuit there's going to be some pickle and nude, N-O-O-D, not N-U-D-E, collaboration going on. So Josh is doing some good work apparently, and he's grown, and took him a long time to get going, but once he got going, then he was going. So that's good. Kermit's Hot Dogs turned 55 yesterday. It was January 10th, 1966 when Kermit Williams opened his hot dog stand. It's still there today, and it's still a popular destination for ye old hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those staples of town, you know.
I mean, it's a signature. If somebody's coming in from out of town, you're like, you know, where are the Winston-Salem places to go? Kermit.
Yep.
Kermit's is going to show up on that list.
Yep. And I still love the curbside.
You haven't lived here long.
Right. I still love the curb service too. I mean, you go and they actually come out and take your order sitting in your car. Yeah, that's just fantastic.
55 years. That's
yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah. Yes,
Bravo.
absolutely. Yes, the
you know, and not with anything fancy, not with something gourmet, just good old blue collar. Give me some dogs, man.
absolutely.
Do it well.
Yes. Mojito Latin Soul Food is raring to take care of you with your Latino-inspired cravings, and now they do have their mojitos and cocktails for you to imbibe whilst having said Latino food. Have a traditional mojito with your traditional Cubano sandwich. How about an old Cuban with your steak sandwich or mojito burger? Yes, please.
Okay.
Michael did tell me. Yes. Michael did tell me today that they are having the trailer inspected this week, and we should see the Tuning Fork Provisions open at Fiddling Fish in the next few weeks. It will, and he told me it will be American bar food themed. We'll have to find out more about what American bar food constitutes in the coming weeks. We'll have Michael on to talk about that, I'm sure. I haven't talked to or heard from Leah today, so I don't know anything that's going on her side of the list. I will be.
What? There's a day that you haven't talked to her?
I know. It's weird, isn't it?
Not yet. Day's still young.
I will be adding Dom's and Clementines to the food list, so that's going to be added today.
That is on your side of the list.
It is. They fit right snugly in my side.
And we have to take MF off the other side.
It's true. She may have already taken that. I'm not sure. I'm going to go look because they closed yesterday, and it's not just leaving it up for posterity. It switching to a new concept, so we'll probably have to denote that as such. All right, it's time for Getting in Your Business, and we are going to talk today with Chef Andre Jones, who is the a chef at Sir Winston and the brand new Clementine's Gourmet Toast and Juice Bar. So welcome to the show, Andre.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's my pleasure, Tim. And Tim, I just wanted to say I'm glad to be in Winston-Salem. I just recently moved down less than a year ago from D.C. And just been at the helm of Sir Winston as we try to become part of the community and make an impact here. You know, it's not always about food. It's just being a good neighbor, part of the community. So that's one of the things that I'm excited to be part of Winston. You know, my wife is originally from Asheville, North Carolina, so I'm familiar with the area, and it took us about 10 years to come back to the Carolinas, but we made it back. So,
well, we're glad you're here. Yeah, as what you were saying, you know, if it wasn't community and being good neighbors, then it would just be the food industry, and we like to think that it's the food community. So,
Carolinas take a lot of pride. You know, Carolina is very pride. I think about that when I put things on the menu. I want them to, you know, be from Carolina if possible. You know, there's a lot of pride in the North Carolinas.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tell us. I mean, I was able to just about a week ago try some of the fine cuisine there at Clementine's Gourmet Toast and Juice Bar. Ray, I don't know if you saw the pictures that I posted, but there was the lobster avocado toast.
I did see the pictures. They looked really good.
they were really good. And then the peanut butter banana crunch, I had that as well. And
that one caught my attention in particular. It was like, oh yeah, that's right up my alley right there.
Yeah, so I had to fill out I didn't have to. They asked that I fill out a survey, and I did, of course, because, I mean, the whole reason I was there was to the friends and family thing and what can we do, and my position in this community is transparency in the food industry, and so I gladly probably gave them more than they expected, because I actually not only just circled numbers, I actually wrote notes.
We thank you for your feedback.
Yeah. So, and the only complaint that I had of either one of them was on the peanut butter banana crunch. I would have preferred having like oats or granola or something on there. I thought that the almonds dominated the toast instead of highlighted it. But that was just a personal preference. That had nothing to do with the quality of the food. I thought it was still damn fine, even with the almonds on it. So tell us a little bit about the concept at Clementine's Gourmet Toast and Juice Bar.
Well, one, Clementine's is just for healthy eating. I mean, fresh. I think it's definitely brings a new element to the market. Just the brightness of the food and the colors. It's all about, one thing about you can have wealth, but if you don't have health, then you really don't have wealth.
Right.
So, and this is a chance for us to live better, food and through the food. And I just think this is just a start. I think this Clementine vehicle has a lot of potential to grow and become a special brand. Maybe you'll see Clementines in other places in the country. As you were saying earlier, Tim, it's definitely an infant. It's a baby in its little stages.
Yeah.
There's always different ways to improve stuff with textures too. So
right, absolutely.
With the peanut butter crunch toast.
Yeah.
You take note of everything.
Right.
But I'm excited about the concept because even at the same time, we have great bowls. I don't know if you got to try some of those.
I hadn't had a chance to try anything but those two things and the juices. I did try all the ones that were available that day.
Acai bowls, which acai, the superfruit from the Brazil. And Brazilians have been eating acai for years. And Americans just getting exposed to how healthy, the great benefits that this brings to. Most Brazilians eat acai berries for breakfast.
Yeah.
So there's a huge potential just to expose. I know we're not the first, but we intend on making sure we're the best. And that's what we want to be, the best in every endeavor we get into and everything. I think for me, I think that's what Clementine has emphasized. That's Sir Winston's wife, Winston Churchill. So that was the inspiration to provide like a lighter side of the food, more healthier aspect. I think it's a great synergy for both brands. Like husband and wife, definitely.
Absolutely, and you can look at me, and anybody who knows me is I am not one to harp on health food, but I do.
You seen the chef, you seen my physique too.
yeah. Some people are built
dead bods, right?
Yeah, that's right. Some people are built like Greek gods, and I think we're built like Greek restaurants. But
hey, this is my Jedi body, all right? Yeah. Come on now.
But I am an advocate of flavor, and I don't think you have to sacrifice flavor to eat healthy. And a lot of people, a lot of places end up with health food or healthier food on their menu, and the flavors are lacking. And as I've always said, I do not eat for sustenance, I eat for sport. And if I'm not going to enjoy it, I'm not going to eat it. So, I think I want to really focus for the next 30 seconds or so on that lobster avocado toast that I had. And I know that it's normally on ciabatta or will be, but it was on the challah bread that I had that day. And basically it's guacamole, but it's not mushy. It was still firm, but soft. It had great. You could taste all the fats from the avocado in there perfectly. The acid from the lime juice was in there. I love cilantro. I'm one of those who love cilantro. I don't think it tastes like soap. If it does, and it's the best tasting soap I've had. And the tomatoes and all that stuff and all those flavors together, and it was still firm and not mushy. Sometimes guacamole and avocado spreads and stuff can be just paste, and that certainly wasn't what this was. There were chunks, and all the flavors were bright, and they mixed well. And then you can't go wrong with lobster. So put that on top of all that, and it was just fantastic. And that, I can't wait to try it on the ciabatta bread, but the challah was fantastic with it. I really enjoyed it.
That was awesome. I don't know how to follow up after that, Tim. I want to run out and grab some lobster avocado.
Well, you should.
The one thing too, Tim, is the key is like the acidity that you notice. I actually put a little bit of chow chow in there. It's basically I'm doing a smash avocados.
Okay.
So it gives it a little bit of acidity, ties it in a little bit with our southern roots. So like you say, it's all about flavors where you put that little enhancement, that little bit of spice on something. And as you alluded to in the beginning here, we're just a new concept that opened a new restaurant. So there's going to be like some growing pains,
right?
Know? And that's with any business, and I recognize that too as a chef, and my job is to minimize them, especially in the beginning. So a lot of things we're doing is training the staff and trying to get them better. And so, what you taste now, hopefully the flavors, it'll even get better a couple weeks from now.
Ooh, I don't know how it's going to get much better.
You had a ciabatta bread in.
Yeah.
And, that could be something, too, that could evolve with the breads. And we'll see how that plays out.
So are you not making the breads in-house?
We're sourcing out the best products so that we can get.
Okay. Are you doing that locally, or is that coming?
Yeah, locally.
Okay.
Especially with the pandemic right now, and it's only so much you can gear up your staff to do. We have a lot going on. That'd be a little bit overwhelming right now. But eventually, that's something that could come down the road. With our other ventures, we probably will have a commissary bakery.
Right.
I could see that evolving.
Okay. Well, how did the concept come about? I know you wanted something healthier, or I'm supposing Simon and all the other Mayfair Street partners or people are wanting to have that concept as well. But the concept of Clementines itself, where did that come from?
Well, the concept itself came from Simon Burgess, one of our partners. He just, just emerged one day, and he had mentioned many times, talked about gourmet toast, and the concept and us doing something more healthy and looking for some different options, and we just at the same time want to get people excited to come downtown and Winston-Salem. Right now, our town is a little bit of a ghost town, obviously, as it slowly heals. And I think this will be a great draw to get people to come back to downtown. But basically, Simon has a lot of vision. He's a very creative individual. He's always thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead on things. And he's been exposed as a world traveler. So you always get to see things. So he has a different vision. He spent a lot of time in Portugal. So, I always enjoyed my conversation with him. We're always in creating new restaurant concepts and getting inspired. So this is just another one that just gives birth, and, just being more health conscious to the area. And I mean, we had a conversation about doing a toast concept like 4 or 5 months ago. And then sometimes how things bounce off, they throw darts at the board, and talk it out. Then one day he just came and let's get us going, let's push. That's kind of how he is, Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Thinking out loud and then executing quickly.
What's that?
Thinking out loud and then executing quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how all my podcasts generally come about. So
that's a great thing to be able to have an ideal and be able to get it out there and get it executed, as we fine tune it. And that's what I'm saying. More and more over the next couple months, obviously Clementine will be more fine tuned and even would be even better, smoother.
Well, I look forward to trying more things there. Speak of what I've talked about, the lobster avocado and the peanut butter banana crunch. What's a couple other of the toast offerings?
So the other toast that we have the Sicilian tuna, which is sliced yellowfin tuna that's been slow cooked in olive oil confit with black olives and lemon. That's one of our toasts. Then we have our goat cheese, avocado, and thinly sliced celery, served with a walnut pesto. This has been a great feedback. A lot of people love this dish, and it's one of our more healthier dishes. We got 390 calories, so that's been a big hit. The Greek hummus, which is made with lima bean hummus, served with kamada olives, feta, whipped, and watercress. You have your smoked salmon and avocado, chive sticks, a little bit of sliced lemons, and some great smoked salmon.
So it's lima beans instead of chickpeas for the hummus.
Yeah, it has a little bit of chickpeas in there. I didn't keep it straight all lima beans.
Okay.
I wanted like a blend, a little texture.
Yeah.
And then on our toast, we have a focaccia, an Italian sausage, breakfast sausage, goat cheese, spinach, and that's served with a sunny side up egg.
Ooh.
And then another one would go with avocado toast with lime salsa, and a little bit of scrambled eggs on that one.
Right.
Then another good favorite that has people talking is the skillet bruschetta, skillet egg bruschetta, which gets bacon jam, sunny side up eggs.
You had me at
Like
bacon jam there.
Bruschetta.
Yeah, bacon. The only thing you had to say was bacon jam. I'm like, "Brr?"
Right? You can't go wrong with bacon jam.
No, you can't. We have just a few more minutes here. Tell us a little bit about. I know you came from DC, but tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Number one for me is that I'm second generation food. My mother was like a trailblazer. She was like the first female chef, executive chef. So I kind of like just preserved her, and that's how I fell into the food industry. I started off as a dishwasher in the Midwest and worked my way up, and just worked with some of the best chefs in America. Well-traveled, worked with tons of Michelin star chefs and James Beard Award winner. And, I'm just like, just want to be able to give back myself. Like when you're able to perfect your craft and you grow in your craft, you want to be able to teach others. And that's kind of where I'm at in life. I want to be able to pass this on, enlighten, help other people in their career. And the thing about when I come to, even when I see Winston-Salem, I look at the area, I just think there's a lot of opportunities to empower others. So, and that's one. My wife is key for me in life. She keeps me grounded.
As she should.
And we have no kids, so we're like that couple that can travel. I do travel as much. That's pretty much what I love to do, is travel and see as much as I can. Now, obviously, you see my physique. I'm on a weight loss crash right now, so I love to eat great food myself.
Right, of course, yes.
Yeah,
we
right?
share that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one more time, Chef Andre, if you'll give the address of Clementine Gourmet Toast and Juice Bar, and anywhere we can find more about you.
Okay. Well, our website is Clementine's Toast and Juice Bar. That's up now. Our website's up, or you can Facebook friend us at Clementine's Facebook. But our address is 104 West 4th Street, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 27101 or zip. And our number for inquiring minds, we're looking for a call, 336-722-0795. And our hours of operation are from Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Tim, it was a pleasure. Thank you. And made me look like the Denzel of the cooking world. Let's try it.
Well, Chef Andre, I really appreciate you coming on and willing to talk to us. And I appreciate the conversation last week when I was there, too.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see where you take Clementine's, because I enjoyed my first experience.
I didn't get to talk about our other ventures coming up with 633 and Aurora, but I'm sure my co-workers, my team will follow up on that.
Absolutely. We're going to talk to them next, actually.
Yeah. And, I also, one thing, Tim, I have two new concepts. Besides Aurora and Social, I have two my personal restaurants. Blue Crab, I'm going to give a shout out. I think it's going to be the best seafood restaurant in the area that I'm going to open up.
Okay.
And my Dragon Fruit Bistro concept.
Okay.
So, with the Asian food and the seafood. So, Tim, you need to have a new best friend. I need new friends. Hey, I think it's a good marriage here. Let's hook up.
Well, Chef Andre, Tim, Chef Andre.
Podcast again.
Yes, we will certainly talk again, sir. Thank you so very much for your time.
Yeah, you're gonna be getting a lot of good food in the future, my friend.
I love you already.
Ray too.
Yes.
Right, make sure you get an invitation. I'll let him leave you out.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you,
Chef
Chef.
Andre, thank you.
All right, thank you.
So, for the listeners, this is Chef Kevin Woods. I met him at Clementine's Gourmet Toast and Juice Bar, but he's going to talk to us today about other concepts that he has that's going into Roar, which is the new entertainment complex over on Liberty Street. I think it's 633 North Liberty Street.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, welcome to the show, Chef.
Thank you. Thanks. Glad to be here. I don't know how much have you told your listeners about the Roar concept.
We mentioned last week that it was coming, but I hadn't had a chance to talk with anybody other than just reading through articles and stuff, and I would much rather hear from someone than trying to read it and gain
Makes
context.
sense.
I would rather be told all the good, juicy details.
Understood. Yeah. So Roar is a best way to maybe explain it is a entertainment complex at 633. It's going to be an amazing situation. On the top floor, you're going to have Rosso, which will be a steakhouse, but you also have duck pin bowling up there, and some golf simulators. It's a fantastic golf simulator system that's coming online. You're basically going to be able to play golf courses all over the world from this system.
Awesome.
There. So that'll be amazing. You also can do simulated baseball, soccer, and then one that really sounds cool is some kind of zombie dodgeball, I think, or something like that. So some great fun things coming online with that. And then the middle floor, really the main floor, you come in, you'll have SSS, which is an Italian restaurant that I will be over. We're looking to do traditional Italian fare, but also do some new stuff that you may not have seen here in Salem before. We'll stay true to some of the Italian background, but we'll also do some new things. We're excited with that. We'll have a pizza oven there. We'll have a little bar. We'll do some Italian snacks there too. And then also on that second floor, we'll have a food hall with a bunch of, and I'm going to read them off just so I don't forget any of them, but we're going to have a Arepas to go, which will be an Arepas concept.
What is Arepa?
Arepa is, it's basically it's like a tortilla, maybe, for people who aren't that familiar with it. Maybe open-faced tortilla with different things on it. Almost, I can't really think of it.
So it's Colombian. It's
Colombian,
pre-Colombian.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it's I'm just reading this to help you through here. A type of food made with ground maize dough originated from the northern region of South America in pre-Columbian times. So
that's a great way to read it off. Yeah. So I don't know if any of your listeners have ever had it before, but it's a fantastic little vessel for different things on top. Almost you could say it's similar to Clementine's, as in Clementine's we have a piece of toast with different fun ingredients on each one. Arepas will be the same way for that. Then we have Blue Crab, which is Chef Andre's seafood concept. Coco Mochas, which will be my kind of bakery concept. I kind of got the idea from the time when I visited Argentina, and they had little cafes, had little desserts and things like that. But we will run the spectrum as far as desserts go. They will have cupcakes, cookies, dessert bars, We'll also have some plated desserts that people can order and we'll make for them there. So I'm very excited about that. So we've got Coca Mochas, and then Dragon Fruit, which is another one of Chef Andre's concepts, which is, I think, more of an Asian fusion concept there. And then Joey Coro's will be a burger joint. Very different kinds of ingredients. Burger joint. We'll also have a make your own salad option there. So we'll have a kind of a salads with a bunch of different ingredients. You can build your own salad. And then the other concept is my concept, again, Global Sandwich. The idea there is to take sandwiches from around the world or take ingredients from around the world and make sandwiches out of it. So we've got a Peruvian chicken sandwich on there. We've got an Italian pork sandwich on there. We've got, we can make our own pastrami sandwiches, Korean barbecue sandwich. So just a bunch of different kind of things going. The idea there is either take a sandwich from somewhere around the world and make the sandwich fantastic, or just take something like Korean barbecue and turn it into a sandwich. So very excited about that. And then the Italian restaurant, well, I already spoke about that. So that's basically for now. Those are the concepts we have going. And we've actually going to start doing pop-ups for each one of these concepts. Starting towards the end of January. We'll start out with the Arepas, January 21st to the 23rd, and then next week we'll do Blue Crab. Then the whole month of February we'll have Coca Mochas desserts available here at Sir Winston's in the Indigo Hotel. And then Dragon Fruits after that in February, then Joey Coro's, and then Global Sandwich, and then we'll do the two restaurants.
So the pop-ups will be done at Sir Winston.
Yep, we'll be doing it here, and you can at roarws.com take a look at that, and you're going to be able to start making reservations for that within the next, actually maybe even by today, but looks like it's open now, so you can go on there and make your reservation for those pop-ups.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll have to do that because I need to try all of it. I can't bring my food wisdom. That's tongue in cheek. To Winston-Salem without trying the stuff, right?
That's right. You have to have firsthand knowledge. But I've worked here in Winston-Salem before at Twin City Quarter. I was the executive chef there for a couple of years. So I'm not a Winston-Salem native. I live in Charlotte, but when this opportunity came available to me in July, I got really excited about it. It's just the whole spectrum of what's going to be going on at 623 is just a great concept. Very exciting stuff.
And there's room for expansion in there, I guess, for more things in the food court or the food hall. I don't like food court. That sounds so mallish.
Yeah, me neither. Yes, food hall. Yes. There's other things that'll be happening in the building in the future for sure, because we've got a bottom floor there too. So stay tuned for that. I may not have really spoke about Rosso, but Rosso is the steakhouse that Chef Andre will be doing up on the top floor. And we also will have a rooftop bar, which should be amazing. Nice. See so just everything that's going on at 633 is very exciting, and looking forward to the public getting out. Looking at probably right now, we're shooting for May opening, so I think that'll be a great time to kind of get back out there and start enjoying social living again.
That was my next question, and you answered it. Ray, I kind of dominated the conversation in the first interview. Do you have any questions for Chef Kevin?
Well, just as a quick comment, when you and I were looking at the list of restaurants that were going to be included in this, our first thought was, are these franchises from somewhere else? Because we didn't recognize any of the names. So it's really exciting to me to know that every one of those is something fresh that's being created right here for this particular venue.
Right. That's what is exciting, is that it's not a chain or what have you. This is fresh new ideas that chefs, local chefs are coming up with. So very exciting. The Arepas is coming out of Puerto Rico, but it's not a concept that's here in the States. So very exciting.
Yeah. I love just the sheer variety.
Yes.
I mean, it seems impossible that if you took a group of people to this place that you couldn't all find something to eat.
Right. Everybody will find something to eat, and entertainment-wise, they'll find something fun to entertain them. We'll run the spectrum. Also on, we're looking at entertainment as in musical groups and this type of things. Live bands will be in the facility. And we're also looking at people booking their weddings on site there, and social gatherings and businesses being able to book and have functions there. So very exciting. The whole complex is just going to be amazing.
Awesome. So, Kevin, Chef Kevin? What's your background? Your history in food?
So I went to New England Culinary Institute, great school up in New England. Unfortunately, I think COVID has kind of done them in. They're closing after 40 years, but a great school in its time. Worked in Boston at Les Pallier, kind of a farm-to-table restaurant. Not to date me, but this was back in the 90s when Farm to Table was just coming online.
Yeah.
And from there, I moved to Charlotte and worked at Fifth Street Cafe, a family-owned restaurant. It's actually it was my father-in-law's restaurant. That's how I met my wife. I was the chef of his restaurant. And then I started working in a lot of hotels after that. I was at Hotel Roanoke up in Roanoke, Virginia. Historic Tudor-style hotel up there. And then I've worked at the Omni Hotel in Charlotte, Twin City Quarter. Here I was the executive chef of the whole complex. And then I've spent the last 6 years as I've had my own business as a task force consultant chef, and traveled the country working with hotels, restaurants in New York City, California, Florida, you name it, and just really loved doing that. The excitement of getting out and being able to try different foods myself. Like last summer I was in Philly, and so I really got to dive into the Philly cheesesteak sandwich thing, and really, so I love doing that, traveling around doing that. But COVID happened, as it does as it did to everybody. But I just was blessed to be able to get to meet this organization and be able to work with them to create this amazing thing coming online.
Well,
633.
It was funny that, I don't know, funny, but it was coincidental. You mentioned the stuff in Boston, and the first thing that came to my mind when I heard this concept was Faneuil Hall, and and I'm like, that because my wife Stephanie and I, when we went to Boston, we've only been once. We fell in love with the city. Can't stand its sports teams, but I love its city, and because we went to see a band play at City Winery, the Fix. We went to see the Fix in 2 years ago, but we walked around and we found, people told us we needed to go, and we went to Faneuil Hall, and we're like, we need this concept in Winston, and ta-da, we have it now.
And here it is. Yeah. Food halls have gotten to be very popular in the United States, and it's one of my favorite ways to eat. I love to try a little of this, a little of that. We think we've done that with our concepts here in Winston-Salem. You go and you get a sandwich here, and then you get a cupcake, and you try some seafood, and you get some Asian. And you're gonna eat way too much, but you're gonna love it all. So
yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm curious. You spent some time here in Winston-Salem, then you went away, and now you've come back. What do you see in Winston today compared to where you were when you were last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little hard because of what's going on in the world, but I do see a difference. There's more breweries now than there was before, but I think Winston-Salem has always had some good breweries. I think that continues to expand. I spent a little time in Winston-Salem about 20 years ago, and I know that it's always been a wish of the city to grow its entertainment, options and things like that. And I think it's amazing that something like 633 is going to happen, because I think it's kind of right in that, that wheelhouse of what the city wants and needs. So, but I do see a difference than just 5 or 6 years ago.
Cool. Well, Chef, I appreciate you came over and spoke with me whenever I was there a week ago at Clementine's, and I appreciated the conversation. And someone else said, Dakota, my server, he says, everybody wants to come talk to you. I said, well, that's why I'm in this business, so people will talk food with me, because you can look at me and tell that I love to talk and eat food. So, but I appreciate that, and I appreciate your insight today, and I cannot wait. I hope to participate in some, if not all, of the pop-ups at Sir Winston for the upcoming 633 Roar.
Yep.
What's the property? Is it just Roar? Is it Roar Winston-Salem? Is it the Roar Complex? What is it called?
You can just call it Roar, or Roar is what the whole complex is.
Okay.
633 is the address, so you can use that as terminology too. But Roar, yeah, ROAR.
Yeah. So roarws.com, is that the website?
That's the website. You can go on there, and it'll have all the dates of the different pop-ups. Just to reiterate, the pop-ups will be within Sir Winston's in the Indigo Hotel.
All right.
And that's where the reservations are made as well?
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Good.
Yes. So, Chef Kevin, I appreciate you so very much coming on and talking with us, and I cannot wait to try all the stuff at Roar. It all thrills me. I've never had an arepa. I want to have an arepa. I love steak because I'll eat anything that had a mother, and I just all of this, all of it is exciting, and I'm excited about it, and I can't wait to talk about it and probably have you on again to talk about it once things get rolling.
Sounds great. So thanks for having me on today. We're very excited. Please, everyone go check out the website, and book one or two or three of these concepts coming up in January and February, so you can kind of see what it's gonna be like come May.
Thank you, Chef. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye.
Once again, thank you to Chef Andre and Chef Kevin for talking with us about the concepts that are happening at Sir Winston and the Clementine Gourmet Toast and Juice Bar, and the concepts that are coming to Roar at 633 North Liberty Street. That's all exciting thing.
Very exciting. And just another side note, it's great to see one of the old buildings not get torn down, but repurposed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
we've done a really good job of that here in Winston-Salem. Hats off to the folks who have done the planning.
That would be Mayfair Street Partners, I think. Simon Burgess and his company.
Mm-hmm.
That also owns Sir Winston and also own a couple other things here in town. So, yeah, very exciting. All right, so let's food holidays and history. So today is the 11th of January. It's Milk Day. We'll see why here in a second. It's also Hot Toddy Day, which is usually made with whiskey, hot water, and honey. And it's good when you have a sore throat or you just want a nice warm alcoholic beverage, because alcoholic beverage.
It's warm.
It's warm. I don't drink warm drinks, but the ingredients minus the hot water, the honey and whiskey, sounds really good to me.
It does.
On the 11th in 1878 in Brooklyn, milk was supposedly delivered to homes in glass bottles for the first time rather than being ladled from metal cans. So that's why it's Milk Day today.
Big deal. That's a big change.
It is. That was, because you could just get it and it wasn't, because how many times has that thing been opened and closed when ladling that milk in there? And you're going to have a lot of waste. So on the 11th in 1917, the French government regulated the price of Gruyere cheese as a war rationing method.
Is that how you're supposed to say that? Is that kind of passion?
Gruyere. I get that there's I don't think it's there anymore. The website's there, but I don't think the guy Patrick Warburton, who was Putty on Seinfeld and was the Tick and things like that. He did voiceovers for it, and it's the cheeseandburgersociety.com, and he would do voiceovers for each kind, and Gruyere was one, and he would go, hey, you know, he had that voice like this, and Gruyere. Say it with me. Gruyere. So every time I say it, I just have to go, Gruyere. So on the 11th in 1949, the first recorded snowfall in Los Angeles happened.
Wow.
Yeah. Also in Los Angeles.
That's not going to happen too often.
No, not at all. Also in Los Angeles in 1963, the Whiskey A Go-Go opened in Los Angeles. It was the first disco in the United States.
And we got over that.
I am a fan of disco. I like disco music, and I would have liked to have seen the disco culture outside of my 6, 7, 8-year-old mind. You know, I would have liked to have seen it as an adult, just to see to say I had witnessed it. In 1964, the Surgeon General Luther Terry issued the first government report saying that cigarettes cause lung cancer.
What?
Yeah, so watch out.
But we were told they were safe. Surely they didn't lie to us. Oh my gosh. Of course, that happened before I was born, so and before you were born.
Yeah, yes, it was. In 2010, Dutch brewer Heineken acquired all of FEMSA's Mexican beer operations, which include Dos Equis, Sol, and Tecate brand beers.
Interesting.
On the 12th, it's National Marzipan Day.
Ooh, I like marzipan.
It's National Curried Chicken Day.
Yes.
And it's
love some curry.
And it's National Hot Tea Day.
Yeah, okay.
If I'm doing vocal things, or if I have a sore throat, that's probably my go-to over the hot toddy, of course. But I don't like warm drinks in general, so I like iced tea. Okay, I prefer it unsweet. I like the taste of unsweet tea. But yeah, so it's National Hot Tea Day on the 12th tomorrow.
And it didn't say what kind, just that it's hot. So like a green tea or even a chai would be fine because it's still a tea.
Earl Grey, English breakfast.
Earl Grey, hot.
Yes. In 1943, on the 12th, due to wartime meat shortages, the United States Office of Price Administration announced that frankfurters would be replaced by Victory sausage, made of meat and soybean meal or other substitutes. Yeah, that wouldn't have gone over at Kermit's.
Ooh, they wouldn't serve that stuff.
No. Luckily, they didn't open for another 23 years. So,
yeah. TVP, textured vegetable protein. Otherwise known as soy. Yeah. Ugh. Exactly.
On the 13th, it's National Peach Melba Day, which I looked it up, and peach Melba sounds very delicious. It's basically peach that is poached in a sugar, water, a simple syrup, and then put over ice cream with a raspberry sauce.
Ooh, that was not what I thought it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were thinking like good. Melba toast or something like that, right?
Exactly.
Well,
and I'm like, oh, the peach variety. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be bad, but Melba toast, really? No, that sounds good.
Now, oddly enough, both Melba Toast and Peach Melba was named after the same person. It was named after a ballerina, I believe, whose name was Melba, or an opera singer, one of the two. She was an entertainer of some sort. And Escoffier, Chef Auguste Escoffier created it and named it after her.
Wow. Interesting.
Yep. It's also, this I will not be participating in, but on the 13th, it's National Gluten-Free Day. I prefer extra gluten in my stuff. On the 13th in 1949, to protect its dairy industry, Prince Edward Island, Canada bans the sale or manufacture of margarine, as everyone should.
Yeah, it's really much better just to have butter.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what I did last night? I made butter.
Did you?
I did.
I thought you were going to
Just get
say
some
I
heavy
had
cream.
a butter sandwich or something.
Well, I mean, my wife had just made some fresh sourdough bread, and I had just made fresh butter. So, yeah, I did have to have some buttered bread.
Did you actually churn it?
was a
Did you,
requirement.
like,
I did. Yeah. I've got a little jar with a handle on and a spinner on the top that goes down to a set of paddles inside the jar. You just pour, a couple pints down inside this jar, and you need to let it get to room temperature first, because if it's at all chilled, it won't congeal into butter. And then you'll be doing this for like 14 hours. But it makes really good butter.
how long does that butter
Just
last? Not how long does it stay in your refrigerator? I mean, how long can it sit in the refrigerator?
We've seen it go 2-3 weeks, and then we're starting to go like, does that smell bad to you? It's like, if you got to ask, just
Yeah. No joke.
It generally doesn't last that long. But we were taking some bread to a friend, and we said, you know what, let's make it special and have some fresh butter to go with it. So, yeah.
Nice. I've never thought to attempt to make my own butter.
It's all you need is cream, heavy cream, and then you just
Whip the shit
keep
out of it.
paddling it. Yeah.
Okay.
And eventually you do have it'll separate. You'll get butter milk that'll come out of that, and you've got to get the water off. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward, and it's good.
All right. I'm a fan of butter.
Me too.
On the 13th.
Not margarine.
No. On the 13th in 2002, President George W. Bush fainted after choking on a pretzel while watching a football game on TV in the White House. I don't know if fainted would be that, just passed out.
Yeah.
Fainted is when, but he just choked himself out here.
Over a potato chip.
Yeah, or a pretzel. Yeah. The 14th is National Hot Pastrami Sandwich Day. You know where you can get a good hot pastrami sandwich? Well, assuming you can.
Let me just try to think of where would I go for something like that here in Winston-Salem. I'm hoping maybe you have an idea for me.
Oh, yeah. How about the Washington Perkin Provision Company, which is located at
What a great
301
idea.
West 4th Street. You'll find a little bit of everything at the Perk, a chip corner, a deli to get your sandwich on the go. And if they don't have hot pastrami, they have something that you'll like. I believe they have hot pastrami, though. At local fruits, veggies, meat and dairy from local sources, Bingo Bango sodas, Wolfie's custard, a wall of beer and wine, and more. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, they're Washington Perk, or at Washington Perk _DTWS on Instagram. Also on the 14th, in 1814, the last London Frost Fair on the frozen Thames River happened. Entertainment and a large selection of food vendors on ice. Vendors on ice.
Yeah, I'm thinking, it might be fun, but I'm going to stay inside. Maybe with a hot toddy.
Yeah, maybe. On the 14th in 1929, mail delivery by dog sled arrived in Montreal, Canada. The six-dog sled left Lewiston, Maine on December 20th, 1928. So 20 to, let's see, that's 24 days it took for mail to get from Lewiston, Maine to Montreal, Canada. I don't know how far that is, but 24 days is a long time. But I guess, all mail was probably much slower then. It can't be much slower because, story here, I have a cousin that lives in Pittsburgh that sent me a package. He mailed it like, let's say, whatever the last Wednesday in December was. He mailed it then with 2-day delivery to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 2 days later, it left Pittsburgh. And about 3 or 4 days later, it got here. So he paid for 2-day delivery, and it took it over a week. It was even later than that.
Wow.
So in the post office wonders why we don't want to use them.
Well, they have had some additional issues here in the last couple of years where funding has been cut, and they've been politicized.
Right.
Used to be they were just the post office.
But why do we have to suffer from that? So the thing is, again, they wonder why we don't. Okay, so the government wonders, why don't we want to use the post office? Well, because you screwed it up.
I get that they're still trying to deliver more than they're used to because we're staying in and we're ordering stuff. I mean, we had a box delivered this morning. I don't remember ever receiving 10, 15 packages in a week, but we've had weeks that's happened.
Yeah. Well, then that's why Amazon started delivering their own stuff. That's why people are using FedEx and UPS to mail regular mail in envelopes now, because who knows when the post office is going to get there. Plus, their prices are stupid, and I mean, it's cheaper to send it that way, but if you need it to be there, you need it to be there.
Yeah, and it's amusing to me when the UPS guys are pulling up in a rental truck.
Yeah.
Because they're so busy, so many packages, they don't even have enough trucks to cover it.
Right. And the UPS fleet in Winston, I know, is huge.
Yeah.
And they're having to contract trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Says something.
Yep. On the 15th, it's National Strawberry Ice Cream Day.
Yeah.
It's also National Bagel Day. And on the 15th, in 1895, Lever Brothers registered the Lifebuoy trademark soap. I was going to try to pull up a soundbite from A Christmas Story because that's what his mom washed his mouth out with when he says fudge. But he didn't say fudge. He said the word. F star. Yeah. the queen mother of dirty words.
Have you noticed, maybe you've picked up on this, there's a new series on Netflix about the history of swear words.
No.
It's hosted by Nicolas Cage.
Really?
And the very first episode, because there's like 8 or 9 episodes, each one is a different cuss word.
Yeah.
Well, fudge is the very first one. And if you're not offended by foul language.
Well, no, I use the F word like a comma.
Well, then you will absolutely appreciate that series. It's pretty fun.
Is it actually called The History of Swear Words?
I think so.
All right, I'll check it out.
If you just look up swear words, I bet you it'll pop up on Netflix. Yeah. It's one of the newer ones that's out. So yeah, we've watched several of the episodes and found them rather amusing.
Excellent. Let's see. In 1919, on the 15th, the Great Molasses Flood happened on a large 50-foot high storage tank in Boston burst and sent a tidal wave of over 2 million gallons of molasses traveling at over 30 miles per hour. I find that hard to believe.
That's the fastest molasses ever moved.
Yeah. Houses, buildings, and parts of the elevated rail system were crushed in its path. 21 people died and over 150 were injured. It took over 6 months to clean up the mess, and the damage was in the millions of dollars. What I picture is that scene in Austin Powers when he's going at the security guard on the is it Austin Powers, or may have been Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Anyway, the security guard standing there yelling "Stop!" at the steamroller that's coming very, very, very slow, and instead of getting out of the way, he just sits there and tries to stop the thing. So that's what I picture with this. I mean, I'm don't mean to make light of people dying and all that stuff, but come on. It's molasses.
Tsunami of
Right.
I just see the tidal wave slowly, and people are like, all right, well, I've got about 3-4 minutes before that crashes. I can still walk away.
Yeah. But instead, I'm going to stand here and try to stop it.
Yeah. Now,
Here, hold my beer.
It happened in the winter. I mean, what's the old saying? Slow as molasses at Christmas.
There
You
go.
know, if it had been in July, I don't know, it might have gotten up to 35, 40 miles an hour.
It may have. On the 15th in 1967, the first Super Bowl, and I use that term in quotation marks, was played. The Green Bay Packers of the National Football League beat the Kansas City Chiefs of the American Football League 35-10. It was only called the AFL-NFL World Championship game at the time. The first actual Super Bowl was Super Bowl III in 69. Who was in that? Do you know?
Oh, was it the Packers and the Giants?
Nope. It was the Jets beating the Colts with Joe Namath's famous guarantee.
There you go.
So, yeah,
Cool.
The merger between the NFL and AFL happened in 1970. So that's when it started. Well, 69 was Super Bowl, but they just called it AFL NFL World Championship before that. So on the 15th in 1986, which I was stunned that it was that late, Pop's Secret microwave popcorn was introduced by General Mills. In 1990, on the 15th, Campbell's Soup produced its 20 billionth can of tomato soup.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of soup.
In 2013, the Food Safety Authority of Ireland announced that horse DNA had been found in frozen beef hamburgers sold in several Irish and British stores. Pig DNA was also present in some samples of beef products. The beginning of a major horse meat adulteration scandal would involve many other companies and products: beef lasagna, beef bolognese sauce, beef meatballs, and so on. The scandal soon spread to at least 13 other European countries. Supposed beef products were found to contain up to 29% up to 100% horse meat. Now, I understand the pig DNA thing being a problem because, religious things, Muslims and Hindu and all that stuff. But I think that the defamation of people, not defamation, the discriminatory practices of people not eating horse meat on grounds of whatever is ridiculous. That you can buy horse meat in the stores by itself in Europe. I don't know why we don't eat it here. They're too good for us, I guess. But I mean, I have never understood what the big whoop is about horse meat. I haven't had it.
Yeah.
I haven't
You're just
sought it.
like, nope, not gonna do it.
Yeah, I've not sought it out. I haven't had it, but if I'm back in Europe, hopefully one day, if I'm back over there and I find it, I'm probably going to try it. I would like to know. On the 16th, it's National Fig Newton Day. I am a fan of the Fig Newton. I like
You're
them.
good.
Yeah. It's also National Quinoa Day, or quinoa, as most people would call it. It's International Hot and Spicy Food Day. And I like those.
Hey.
I like hot and spicy food.
I don't mind a little spice in my food.
Yeah, I don't want it so hot that I can't taste anything else. But I like a good spice. On the 16th in 1769, a riot occurred at the Haymarket Theatre in London when a magician did not show up to perform. He had claimed that he would get into a quart tavern bottle and there sing several songs. And he didn't. And upon him not showing up, there was a riot. There's a local band that was called Haymarket Riot. I thought that was cool. On the 16th in 1868, William Davis, a Detroit, Michigan fish dealer, received a patent for a refrigerator car, an icebox on wheels. He also designed the first refrigerated railway car. In 1894, Charles H. Phillips Chemical Company registered the Milk of Magnesia trademark. And pooping was never a problem after that. In 1920, Prohibition began on the 16th in the United States, which banned the sale of all alcoholic beverages. Gangsters flourished importing and producing bootleg alcohol, and Americans drank more than ever. Prohibition finally, as I've talked about, was repealed in December of 1933. That was the end of the quote, unquote, the misnomer of noble experiment.
Yeah.
In 1945, on the 16th, Carl and Margaret Karcher opened Carl's Drive-In Barbecue Restaurant in Anaheim, California. The first Carl's Jr. restaurant opened in 1956.
And merged with Hardee's at some point.
Yes, in the late 90s, early 2000s. In 2000, on the 16th, a truck carrying evaporated milk is driven into the state capitol building in Sacramento, California, and it killed the driver. No one else was harmed. On the 17th, it's National Hot Buttered Rum Day. Sounds good.
Yeah, well, there's a hot drink you could get behind.
Yes, I could. On the 17th, this week, it will be Betty White's 99th birthday. She was born on
Still around?
Yes.
Wow.
She was born on the 17th in 1922.
Wow.
Yeah.
99.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So you guys thinking about it, the things we take for granted today, like the Pop Secret popcorn and even like here at Popeye the Sailor, 1929, first appeared in the comic strip Thimble Theater. So Betty White is older than Popeye.
Wow.
Yep.
That's saying something.
Yep. She's 2 years younger than Prohibition.
The noble less
Yeah.
experiment.
Yeah. So all those things that, we talk about that happens, and that's, she's older than that. I read an infographic about that one time that was really interesting, that, all the things that we take for granted as everyday stuff that's been around forever, and she's older than them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the world that she was born into in 1922 don't at all look like the world she'll be leaving.
Not at all. Not at all. Well, that's your food, holidays, and history for the week. Special thanks to James Ehler at foodreference.com for making us chuckle and roll our eyes. Talk about Betty White and Popeye and popcorn and molasses waterfalls.
Thanks, James.
This is a reminder to all the listeners, and it's just good practice, not just now, but for always. Wash your damn hands. Wash with warm water and soap. Wash with that soap for about 20 seconds or more. Sing along to this if you don't know how long 20 seconds is.
Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing. That's all that Bobby left me. But if feeling good was easy down when he sang the blues. Hey, feeling good enough for me and my Bobby, yeah.
So that'll get you around 20 seconds there.
But you have to sing it like she did.
Oh yeah, yeah. You have to sound like you drank cigarettes and whiskey, and gargled sandpaper.
14 weeks.
And gargled sandpaper. My one that I always like to make fun of when I sing like her is, "Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all have Porsches. I must make amends." I'm like, it's Margaret. It's Simpson. Marge Simpson singing there. Lord, our little girl Lisa's growing up so fast.
The proof that you don't have to sing well to have a hit.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, Mom Dylan even sang his way into the hit chart.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Dylan, though, he wrote really good songs. I would much rather hear somebody else do his songs. I don't want to hear him do it.
Yeah. Lyrically.
Yeah.
Poetically. He was gifted. As a singer, he had some deficits.
Yeah. It leaves a lot for the imagination or to be desired, I guess.
Yeah. Other people covering his work do a great job because they are good songs.
Yeah. Yep. Well, keep an eye on my blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have food news, don't wait until after Michael Hastings knows to send me and let me know. Just tell me. Send an email to tim@themanwhoatetown.com, leah@themanwhoatetown.com, or ray@themanwhoatetown.com. You also can contact us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instant Messengers, Instagram on Instant Messengers or whatever. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Man Who Number 8 The Town. On Instagram, we are Man Who 8 The Town. And now we want you to call and leave a voicemail for the podcast, 336-422-6862. That's right, 336-422. Numb. Not molasses, but numb. Leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the podcast. Again, 336-422-6862 or numb. Well, thank you again to chefs Andre and Kevin for their insights on the things that are coming here or are here, and like Clementine's Gourmet Toast and Juice Bar and Roar, Winston-Salem, or Roar.
Cracks me up every time you're like, Clementine's Gourmet Toast and Juice Bar.
Well,
at some point, it'll just be Clementine's.
It will. Like any other time I talk about it, I'm sure, but I wanted to make sure that we got the full name in for when they were on. So,
right.
Well, my name is Tim.
My name's Ray.
And we're closing the recipe box. Wow, that's loud. Until next time. Thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the Man Who Ate the Town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.